Peace and blessings, everybody. Peace and blessings, everybody. Peace and blessings, everybody. Peace and blessings, y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Now listening to the Alice and Denise podcast.
Alice and Denise, A-D-A-D, the petite powerhouse, A-D, always 100, you can like it or not, she don't mind pushing buttons, all up in your hot spots, crock pot cooking, damn, and she good looking, hold up, brains and beauty, raising awareness, certified therapist, but much better prepared with it, check her portfolio, it's accredited, like, subscribe, follow, share it, roll out the red carpet for the queen, and welcome to the show, peace and blessings, Alice and Denise, A-D-A-D.
Peace and blessings, everybody. This is the Petite Powerhouse, Alice and Denise, and you are tuned into the Alice and Denise podcast with me. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope everybody is having an awesome Tuesday afternoon so far, and I hope you've had a great week. So, I am relationship coach Alice and Denise. It is my purpose, pleasure, and passion to show you how to heal, grow, and live. Heal, grow, and live through this dating game by becoming better and not bitter and enjoying your life along the journey. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Shout out to those of you checking us out on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Twitch. Let us know where you're watching us from. We truly do appreciate it. As you can see right here at the bottom of the screen, please don't forget to subscribe. You can find me on Facebook if you're not already there under Alice and Denise, and I am Alice and Denise. You can find me under YouTube and Instagram under I am Alice and Denise and the Alice and Denise podcast. Also, make sure you check us out on Twitter under AD Podcast. We appreciate all of the support that we have received so far and all of the support to come. All right, so let's go ahead and move forward. So I have 3 pretty good questions. I had more, but I think these 3 are going to take up the full hour. So I've got 3 awesome questions for those of you who may be new. First of all, welcome. Second of all, this is the Alice and Denise podcast where we answer your relationship questions live. So you can DM me via any of the methods that are listed below the screen. You can DM, you can inbox, you can also email us at the adpodcast2020@gmail.com. Give me 1 second. My headphones don't want to stay on today. All right, let me try this. Okay, I think I'm good now. All right, so you can check us out. Send your questions, send your emails, whatever it is that you want to do, however comfortable you're doing it. Unless you tell me I can use your name, I will always either use anonymous or I will use your initials. So you don't have to worry about your information being tracked back to you. Okay. All right. So let's get these comments started and then we're going to get started with the next question. Peace and blessings, Renner. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. All right. So let's move on. Let's go ahead and get to the first question. Now, like I said, these are a little bit lengthy. Peace and blessings, Damba. Good to see you. These questions the answers are going to be pretty lengthy. So that's why I only did 3. If there's room for a 4th, I can go find one real quick. Okay. All right. So let me go to the first question. So the first question was sent by AB through email, and she asked me why I don't discuss hypergamy. I was waiting to see how long it would be before somebody said something. So I wasn't surprised to get the question, but this should be interesting. So she wants to know, hey, you believe in love and relationships and all this other stuff. And, I never hear you talk about hypergamy. Why don't you talk about hypergamy? So let's go ahead and answer that question. Now, for those who have not heard the term before, let me go ahead and tell you what it means. So this is based off the Oxford Dictionary. The definition of hypergamy is the practice of marrying above one's social status or class, i.e. marrying up. You've heard the term marrying up before. This is just, I guess, the official term for that practice. And so it's basically saying, you're marrying someone who has more money or has more education or whatever. Now, this is from a woman's perspective, hypergamy is strictly aimed at women marrying up. It's aimed at women marrying up. And so I got introduced to this mindset and lifestyle, I don't know, 4 years ago. I think it was 4 years ago. So a few years back, I was introduced to the practice. There were women who had brought up that that was something that they were considering doing. Now, as I've done my research, and I did do research on the whole, hypergamy mindset, the behavior, there's certain rules involved and stuff like that. So I did do research there. And I found that while it's something that people would prefer women start doing in their 20s, you can do it all the way up to your 40s or early 50s or something like that. But here's why I don't practice it. Now, I will go on record first off and say that I understand the reason that people are being told or that women are being told to develop this hypergamy mindset. I do understand the logic. I understand the mindset. I understand the reasoning behind it. It's just not for me. And I don't think it's necessarily for my platform either. So let's just break down the definition. Hypergamy itself is saying you're dating and marrying up based on financial status and economic. So, and keep in mind, I am very much a brainiac. I'm very much a processor and a researcher and whatever else you want to call me. So I will go ahead and put out, there may be a chance that I'm overthinking the process a little bit, but this is Allison's thought process, which is why she doesn't follow it. Peace and blessings, David, Jonathan, thank you. What's up, sis? Good to see you. So here's the reason I don't follow the hypergamy mindset. Now we'll go into detail about why I understand. But this is, to answer this young lady's question, the reason I don't follow it is because of the definition itself. The definition itself says I'm only looking at people who have more. Now, one of my issues with that is, as a woman, I just find that we're always being made to feel that we're not enough of something. We're either not enough or we're too much. We got to be a particular height or a particular weight or a particular build. We have to speak at a particular volume or tone. I just feel like we're nitpicked to the point that we basically have to have our daughters and our sisters come out of the womb developing self-respect, because otherwise society is going to beat that part of them. The self-respect, the self-esteem, the self-confidence, being secure in who we are, knowing our worth, that stuff is going to be attacked, eroded, and destroyed before baby girl is even 12 years old. By 12, sometimes younger, they're already being told, you're too short, you're too tall, you're too thin, you're too fat, your breasts are too small, your breasts are too big. So my first issue with hypergamy is the actual foundation of it is saying, marry someone better than you. It's telling women, marry someone better than you. My issue with that is the minute we start talking about marrying someone better, by default, you're already saying, go find someone that you feel is out of your league. And so what do a lot of women do with that mindset? They will start to focus on the external. Well, I'm going to have my hair like Megan Thee Stallion's, and I'm going to make sure I'm at the gym so that my ass sits up, and I'm going to make sure I have hips. And if they don't look like the ones in the video, I'm just going to go pay somebody to get them done. And I'm going to have the thin waist and black. One of my biggest issues, and this is specifically with my sisters. One of my biggest issues with my sisters is the beautiful thing about us is how uniquely beautiful we are. Not just in terms of complexion and light skin versus dark skin, not in terms of that. Just if you go back to the 90s or the early 2000s, you see all of these various flavors of beauty. You had weave, or you had braids, or you had afros, or you had long hair, or you had short hair. You had tall girls, short girls, fit girls, like there was a whole spectrum of beauty in the black world. And now it just feels like everybody just wants to look the same. Everybody wants the same weave. Everybody wants the same lips. Everybody wants the same ass. Everybody wants the same thin waist, and are actually going to get surgery to literally look like everybody else on Instagram. So my first issue with hypergamy is I feel it pushes women towards accepting themselves less and less, to the point that they just want to look like everyone else. They want to look like what is deemed acceptable, not just to society, but what's acceptable to these rich men. Oh, okay. So I always see rich men with women who have long hair. So, forget my afro. I'm just going to go get long hair. And I see that they always have the women who they seem to have attitudes, or they walk around looking stuck up, or their nails are always perfect, and they never have sweatpants, and all they own are heels, and so that's what I'm going to do too. Meanwhile, you are not even paying attention to or remembering why the hell you were created. You weren't created to look like them, or you would have. You weren't created to be like them, or you would have been born that way. So a lot of my bigger issue with hypergamy, or one of, is I feel like the mindset sets women up for a lifetime of self-esteem issues. Let me stop there, see if we have any comments. Peace and blessings, Daryl, or Darrell, because I don't know which way to pronounce that. So that's my first issue. I feel like it sets women up to have a lifetime of self-esteem issues. My second issue with hypergamy is my platform is based off love, and there's nothing in hypergamy that talks about love. It talks about convenience. It talks about marrying someone that that'll put you in a position where you don't have to work. It talks about marrying men who are taking care of you. It talks about marrying men who have a particular net worth so that you don't have to struggle, and so you don't waste your good years giving birth to babies of men that can't take care of them, blah, blah, blah. And in no part of any research that I did on hypergamy did I see anything about marrying for love. And here's why I bring this up. Regardless of whether you get married for love, for status, because the person is deemed to be at a bigger economic class than you, regardless of the reason behind that, are you aware that you do still have needs? Even if you ignore the emotional needs, even if you act like you don't have them anymore, are you aware that they're still there? Are you aware at some point those emotional needs not being met will have an adverse effect first on you and then on the relationship, regardless of how much money he makes? Are you aware that regardless of how much money he may have when you marry him, that life can happen at any time? What good does hypergamy do if, God forbid, something happens to you? You gain weight. You can't be the arm candy that you once were. What happens when those things occur, and they happen to occur to you? They happen to befall you. What happens at that point to the man that you basically agreed, hey, as long as you take care of me, I'm going to be pretty. As long as you continue to do A, B, C, D, and make sure I don't have to work, and make sure I can buy whatever I want to buy, and make sure I can do this, and make sure, as long as you do that, I'm going to continue to be thin, and I'm going to be pretty, and it doesn't matter how many kids I give you, I'm always going to bounce back in 3 to 6 weeks, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, what happens when you can't do that? Because here's one of the things that I see. Long before this practice was given a term, long before that happened, there have been women who have done this. There have been women who did this all the way back in high school. Little girls dating older guys. I don't care that he was 23. Her ass was 17. There's no way you couldn't find a 23-year-old woman. I digress. Women are constantly being made to feel that the only value we have is in our youth, our looks, and our ability to give children and produce heirs, for lack of a better word. And you're then made to feel that as men are supposedly getting better with age, I can't even say supposedly. Some of y'all are fine as hell the older you get. Respect. But as we continue to respect the beautiful way that our brothers age, or that men in general age, those same men are turning around because of the society that we're in and because of the way things are being taught to us. They're now being made to feel, oh, you don't need someone your age. Like after 45, after 50, women are useless. Keep finding a 20-year-old. Keep finding blah, blah, blah. So my issue with hypergamy is it's saying that it is designed for the woman. But I don't think people understand that you're basically you're basically telling men it's okay to keep dating 20 and 30, even though if you continue to live and if you're blessed with more birthdays, you won't always be 20 and 30. So you're following a practice that says at some point you're going to age out of the dating game. Like, why the hell would you do that? Hey, Victor. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. It's not reality. Thank you, sis. BD said, what's up, BD? So my issue with hypergamy is saying get all you can while you can when you're in your 20s and your 30s and maybe your 40s and your early 50s, because after that you're going downhill. Like what woman with a vagina would sign up for this? The mindset, the lifestyle, the stress, the erosion of your self-esteem as you get closer to another birthday. Why would you sign up for this? All to be with a man who, based off of the mindset of hypergamy, to be with a man who will equally feel okay putting you out to pasture when you no longer can fulfill your exterior agreement in the deal. It just doesn't make sense. Why would you want to be 35 and God forbid something happens to you? You can't walk, or you develop a thyroid issue. You can't keep weight off, or I don't know, you end up with cancer. Something happens. Why would you set yourself up just because you're 20 and you're young and you're pretty, or you're 25 or you're 28? Why go into a mindset where you're only with a person, your initial attraction to them is that they have more education than you, they made more money than you, they drove a nice car, they had more than you had? Why put yourself in a position to say, well, I can grab them because I'm 25, I'm 26, and then when you're 35 and 36 or even 46 or whatever, you get sick or something happens, and now that person, at the time that you need your spouse the most, no, this wasn't part of the agreement. You're not pretty no more. Matter of fact, you can't even give me more kids anyway. So, peace out. Let me just write you a little check so you can take care of yourself. But I'm going to move on. Let me go back to the 20-year-olds that I started with, because society says I can do that. And you can't do that because since you're over 40, you're now over the hill and you can't give me kids anyway. And I can always find younger. I mean, was it really worth it? Was it really worth it just to say, I attracted this rich man and I'm able to go out with all of these rich men because I understand that my value is in my youth, but you're not going to die at 29. Hopefully. So if you live to be 39, 49, 59, 69, so you're just saying every decade you just become less and less important. You become less and less worthy of love, less and less worthy of companionship and someone actually wanting to be there for you. Like, I don't get it. John says, just peek back the curtain on the Gold Diggers Creek. Allison, you spoiled the image of hot girl summers. It just got real. I'm just saying. Troshelle says they're looking for the next 20 to 30. Exactly. And the women who turn 40, this is my issue. You have a lot of women on these reality shows, 40 years old, 50 years old, still trying to dress like they're 20, still trying to act like they're 20, getting in cat fights, and you 45 damn years old. You're still acting that age because you bought into the belief that after 30, it's over. You bought into it, and then you want to sit down on these same shows and you want to talk about how men ain't this, and well, men only want women that are this, and men only want, well, heifer, they only wanted you at that age. So why is it a problem now? You were completely fine taking that man from his 40-year-old wife. You were completely fine saying, well, it's not my fault that she ain't got it like I got it. And it's not my fault that she's old and got all these, it's not my fault she got stretch marks. And it's not my, he wanted a woman who looks like a woman. Okay, sis. So now you 40 with stretch marks. Why is there a problem? Because all through your 20s and 30s, you were saying, yep, 20-year-olds rule, 20-year-olds rule. I can have any man I want. I can have any man I want. Okay, so did your dumbass not consider the fact that you weren't going to be 20 forever? So you supported the mindset when it benefited you, but you don't understand that the mindset ain't going to change because your ass is older. It's not. He's still going to dump your ass for a 20-year-old, and he going to be like, well, what's the problem? I mean, this is how I met you. You know the game. So that's my issue with hypergamy. I get it. To the other, on the other side, I do get it, because you do have a lot of men out here who will make the mistake of letting go of a woman who had their back when he was broke to then go after all the women who didn't want his ass when he was broke. You do see a lot of that. You see a lot of men who had women that were there for them, that held it down for them, that did all of these, supportive things as their wife, their girlfriend, whatever. You do have several stories of women who were there with men during the struggle. And then the man worked on everything during the struggle except his damn ego and self-esteem. So the minute the broke status is gone, and now you got all of these women looking at you who didn't give two damns about you when you couldn't buy more than a meal from a fast food place. Now the little boy in the ego is wrapped up. Oh, I can have any woman I want now. Why would I want to stay back here? Well, because, dumbass, because this one has your back. Because this one is not going to come after you for half of everything you've earned, because she plans to be there to make sure you grow more. That's why, you jerk. But no, some brothers, they just don't seem to have that switch. The switch that flips on for them is, oh, I can have any woman I want. Let me go get a model. I want to be able to say that I've had a model. I want to be able to say that I dated a celebrity. I want to be able to say that I dated an IG model. So I get it. I get that there are people who are like, well, screw it. If that's the game that men are going to play, then I'm just going to play the game. So since they don't want support, since they don't want a woman who has their back, since they don't appreciate a woman who sees them for what they are, then I'll just stop being that woman. I'll just be the woman that just wants to come after their check. And I get the thought process. I do. I get the thought process. My issue is that it will always backfire. Joining a fucked up game doesn't make the game less fucked up. It just means you are now going to be on the receiving end of the fucked up part. Why would you set yourself up for this? BD says, what about the mental stimulation you can only get from someone on your level of maturity, and need someone I can talk? Right. But see, here's the deal. I don't care how much the brother has. I don't care how much the brother was earning when you met him. I don't care how well he takes care of all of your financial needs. Unless the brother married you for love, he's kind of an asshole. He can be a tall one. He can be a dark skinned one. He can have a beard. He can have a dick down to his knees. He's still a bit of an asshole, because you got to think about it. Just like what BD said. Why would a man not want a woman on his level? Unless he's got money and the same insecurities. Unless his ego necessitates that the woman be younger because she knows less, which means he can screw her over a lot easier. Unless he can find a woman who's younger or wants more. Because see, that's the other side of this. Yeah, you can find a man who only seems to care about a pretty woman, but please understand, if you are dating that man who only cares about a young, pretty woman, when you start qualifying to be in those two categories, he's promptly going to dump you because he doesn't want someone on his level. He doesn't want to be reminded that he's aging, even though he is. He doesn't want to be reminded of his shortcomings or his flaws. Brothers like this don't like to be accountable. They just cut you off. Brothers with this mindset want you to be pretty, to give him babies, and to shut the hell up. They don't want you to have a brain. They don't want you to think for yourself. They don't want you to have an opinion opposite of theirs. And they definitely don't want you calling them out on their BS. They don't. And because there's no love there, because it's just a really pretty arrangement where you got to have your wedding in Essence magazine, he ain't got no respect for you. He doesn't care about your feelings, boo-boo. He cares about how you gonna look in that red dress he just spent $5,000 for this cocktail event, because damn it, he better be the best looking couple in the room. That's what he cares about. So you got insecure women wanting to date men who have a superiority complex, and this is supposed to be dating goals now? I'm gonna pass. Crickets. What's up, Nick? Chiffon Usher. John says, is money a level or a tool? Necessary nonetheless, but when did how much I make me? I don't have I agree with you, but see, it's on both sides. How much money you make started to make you when men started running after women who make it clear that they're only running after what's in his pockets. And when women started getting hurt to the point that they're now thinking men are nothing but checks anyway, because if I put my heart out there, I'm just going to get hurt. Like, one of the two is going to have to stop. Like, either men are going to have to stop being so visually, I'll say it like this. Men will have to stop being visual slaves and date women who are actually dateable. Not just women who have a nice ass. Not just women that all their boys wish they could get with. Men are going to have to stop being slaves to the fact that they are visual creatures for this thing to turn around. Y'all start making millions and you're dating the woman who knows how to treat you, who knows how to have your back. You start giving more respect to the woman who knows what it is that makes you tick and doesn't use it against you. You decide that you want to pour into a woman who will tell you when people are no good for you. You pay attention. It saves you money. She doesn't want everything in your wallet to be on her back, on her arm, in the driveway, on the floor, decorating the house. You date a woman who you date and marry a woman who sincerely just wants to see you make it, and you start showing those women being put on pedestals. Not the ones who get 600,000 likes on Instagram because they know how to bend over with the right outfit. You might see some women start to change up a bit. Somebody got to make the change. That's all I'm saying. What's up, Jason? What about your day? Oh, my day is good. Thank you for asking. What's up, Joseph? Thank you. I appreciate it. So when I'm talking about hypergamy, this is my issue with it. Like I said, I get it. This is basically a mindset of if I can't beat the game, I'll join the game. I'll see how much it can benefit me, and then I'll move forward. My problem is that I don't think people are being realistic about feelings. Are there some people who have learned how to turn their feelings off? Yes. And those are people that you kind of want to steer away from. But it's been my experience that a lot of people think that they're cold-hearted and they're not. They think that they have what it takes to play this game, and they don't. And the way that they find out they don't is when the game stops being fun. When they hit that wrong birth date, when they blow out that candle on the cake that tells the man, oh, okay, well, her time here is up. I need to go find a newer model. When she gets sick and she gets to the point where she can only sit there and reflect on what she wants and what she needs and how she wished she had someone who was rubbing her back or whatever. And she knows he's got a nurse. He's got a nurse coming in here to take care of me 24/7 because he don't want the responsibility because he's already out looking for my replacement. Don't be in situations like that where you're already down to find out that you're in a situation that's about to crush you. Just stay away from the practice altogether. I understand that it looks cute and it looks fun, but it's not. I just don't think it is. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. Let me go ahead and move on to the next one. All right, so this one is from Twitter. This brother says, I'm in love with a woman I met 3 months ago. I want to propose to her, but my friends are saying it's too soon. I've been hurt before and I don't want to get it wrong again, but she feels right. How can I tell if I'm on the right track? All right, since that was a two-parter, I'll read it again. I'm in love with a woman I met 3 months ago. I want to propose to her, but my best friends or my friends are saying it's too soon. I've been hurt before and don't want to get it wrong again, but she feels right. Oops, where did it go? But she feels right. How can I tell if I'm on the right track? So I have a different, oh, my phone is going off. Hold on one second. Okay. So I have a different mindset with this. I know that other people are probably going to say something else, and I'm going to give them a chance to say that. But I have a different mindset about relationships and timing. And so I'll tell a couple of quick stories. So several years ago, like back when I was in college, several years ago, I dated this guy. A mutual friend hooked us up. They thought that our nerd-like behavior would be a good fit. He was a little bit older, I think 3 or 4 years older. And we ended up having our first date. Luckily, he turned out to also not be a perv because our first date ended up with me at his house. And then a snowstorm nobody expected happened. So I ended up having to sleep over. Anyway, so we went out. No, that was the second date. So I went out with him a couple of times. Good dude. Really nice, really sweet. A gentleman. A huge nerd just like I was. Like, we were talking about everything. And we got to the point where I started to ask him, what happened in his last relationship. So I found out in his last relationship, he was married. So his last relationship was with his now ex-wife at the time. They had dated 8 years. They dated 8 years. They got married. And 8 months into the marriage, they got separated. They dated 8 years. They got married. And 8 months into the marriage, they got separated. Now, around that same time, one of the jobs that I had at the time was working at a bowling alley. And inside the bowling alley, there was a bar. And the bar had like karaoke. And it also had those little sweepstakes machines and stuff like that. Shout out to Brunswick Triad Lanes, Wendover Avenue, Greensboro, North Carolina. So in the bar, there was a wonderful woman. I won't say her name. But there was a wonderful woman there who was the bartender. And that woman was always smiling. She was always in the best mood. She had the sweetest spirit. She didn't care how many times I asked for cranberry juice. She made sure I had it. all that good stuff. She was a very, very sweet woman. And one day I sat down and talked to her. Her husband used to come in, and he was always happy. He couldn't wait to see her. He would call her these little pet names. We already knew who he was there for. We would tell him where she was, or, hey, she went to do such and such, but she'll be right back. And they were just beautiful together. And so one day I talked to her, and she told me that they were married in 3 days. She said on the first date, they had a great time. On the second date, he proposed, and their third date was at the courthouse. And they were married, I think it's been 3 or 4 years, when he unfortunately passed away from cancer. I have also listened to certain stories like Joyce Meyer. For anyone who follows her in the Christian community, back when I used to listen to her on a regular basis, I found out her story with her husband, Dave. So Dave Meyer said that he prayed and asked God to send him a woman. He said he wanted to marry a woman who needed him. Anybody who knows Joyce Meyer knows that she was not in a great space prior to her ministry. She had gone through a lot of hurt, and she had a lot of anger as a result of that. So Dave told her later, he said he knew on the first date he wanted to marry her. But he wanted to wait, I think it was date 3 or date 5, because he didn't want to scare her off. And then, for those of you who know me, my absolute favorite artist in the whole world is Eric Roberson. Now, one of the reasons I love him so much is because of the husband he is to his wife, Sean. Now, anybody else who follows their story, they had actually dated multiple years. I think it was 8 years, 9 years. They dated 8 or 9 years. It might have even been longer. Maybe it was 12 years. She had been hurt and was scared to move forward. He had been hurt and was scared to move forward. And it was his mom one day, because at first they were dating and they were like, well, no, we're just friends and blah, blah, blah. His mom stopped them and said, hey, if you found out she was seeing somebody else, would you be mad? He said, yeah. She asked her, would you be mad if you found out he was seeing someone else? She said, yeah. So his mom had to tell them, no, y'all together. I don't care about all this. You don't want titles. Y'all are together. So 8, 9, 10 years in, I can't remember, they got married. They are still married, have 3 beautiful kids, all of this other stuff. My point is that I'm just giving you examples of 4 different situations. And based off of that, plus other ones that I've either seen up close, coach people through, counsel people through, whatever, the mindset that I have is, if it's wrong, it was wrong on day 1. If it's right, it was right on day 1. I've had that mindset for years. I don't put time limits on when something should be considered right or when something should be considered wrong. And yes, you can fall and bump your head sometimes for moving too fast or moving too slow. I get all that. But I don't think time has any bearing on the relationship being right or wrong. If that's the person you're supposed to be with, then you're good on day 1. If that's somebody you need to leave the hell alone, you needed to leave them alone on day 1. So that's the mindset I have. Now, having said that, when it comes to your question, I did have what I think will be a pretty decent checklist for you to follow. A checklist that I think will help you figure out if you're on the right track or if your friends are telling you the right thing to do. Okay? So I'm going to give you these 8 quick things to think about. The first one is, are you still at a mental space where you're willing to accept if it's wrong? This one is the most important. If you are just so far gone down the line that you're not willing to listen to reasonable counsel that you should wait, then you're already in trouble. One of the ways in knowing for sure that you're with a person that is right for you is that you're still at a mindset of being able to say, okay, well, if I'm wrong, then I'll accept it. I'll be disappointed, but I'll be able to accept it. If you are not at that stage and this, I have to, you're probably in a position where you're more infatuated than anything else. Okay? So that's the first question I would ask. The second question is, are you in a place of mental, emotional, and spiritual maturity? What I mean by that is, are you, and I'll just add number 3 to that, are you over old hurt? So let's think about what you just said with, I've been hurt before and I don't want to get it wrong again, but she feels right. Let's go back to I've been wrong before. Are you over that? Whatever it cost you. Was it, well, I was about to propose to her and I found out she was cheating, so I got over it? Was it, no, we were actually married or in a serious relationship and it cost me everything, I had to start all the way over? Whatever that old hurt is, are you over it? Here's why this is important. If you are not over it, then you don't necessarily know if this person is the right person or if this person is just helping you to not feel the pain that you've been feeling. Is this person really your partner, or are they just a painkiller? Are you just happy to be with them because when you're with them, you don't think about the pain anymore and that just feels better? Or are you over all that stuff? You've already talked it through. You've already healed. You've already taken the time to yourself. You've already done all that other stuff. And now you're with this new person and it feels good. You are the only person who can answer that question. So which one is it? Are you over the old hurt? Are you emotionally mature? Have you cried your tears? Have you realized that it just wasn't meant to work out? Have you moved forward in life? Or are you still harboring some bitterness? Did your ex maybe move on and marry somebody else that you perceive to be taller or better or more successful, and now you just want to get married for the sake of being able to say, well, I can get married too? You got to be clear about who you are. So the first 3 questions are just about you. If you can't answer these first 3 questions in a very affirmative way, using self-reflection, being honest with yourself and holding yourself accountable, if you cannot say with all certainty, I'm emotionally, spiritually, and mentally mature, I am over old hurt, I'm not using her to get over anybody else, blah, 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 then keep going. If not, stop here and just take your time and chill. Okay? All right, so let's move on to the actual thing that your friends are saying. Your friends are saying it's too soon. Are they giving you valid reasons? Or are they giving you social media reasons or society reasons? Are they giving you reasons based off of what they know about you? Or is it one of those, well, 3 months seems too soon for me, so that means it's too soon for everybody situations? Let me see what we have here in comments. What's up, Miss Honey? Thank you. So are they giving you good advice, or are they giving you advice based off what they would do? And that's where you have to go back. Think about what they're saying. Are they saying, well, bro, it's too soon. You kind of, you fell in love with the last girl in 6 months and you fell in love with this girl, blah, blah, blah. Have they even met her? Do they know her? Have they spent time with her? Have they seen the way that the two of you interact with each other? Because here's one of the problems. Unless you have a very strong tribe, and a lot of people think they have a tribe this strong and they don't. Unless you have a tribe strong enough to be able to know you so well that they can read between the lines and know what questions to ask before they give you an opinion, unless you have a tribe of people who really know your good and bad, call you out on it on a regular basis, and if they hear you say something about a particular person you're seeing, they also know to say, hold up though, what did you do right there? Unless you have a tribe like that, if they haven't met her, they don't have a leg to stand on in terms of an opinion. That's my opinion. They shouldn't be able to tell you anything if they haven't spent any time with her. So if they haven't spent time with her, I would either start to introduce them to see if they have the same opinion, or I would just let that slide. Now, if they're talking about something related to your character, you may want to pay attention if they do know you. But if they're just saying, man, 3 months is too soon. You need to wait at least 2 years. You need to wait at least 5 months. What's the rush? Don't pay attention to that, because see, that's not even their opinion. That's something that society has put out as saying is a reasonable amount of time for people to be together before they get married. And reasonable isn't always where you find love. Reasonable is where you find what everybody else has. Okay? 4 is good too. Thank you. Trishelle said, "Oh, this is rich." I'm just letting y'all know. So people who want you to go by what's reasonable and acceptable, in the relationship world and the marriage world, reasonable and acceptable is 50 to 60% of people ending up in divorce. So if you want reasonable, go that way. If you want real, focus on what you want and stop telling God how long it's going to take for you to accept it. That's where some people are messing up. Oh, he feels great. He's a great fit. I'm really happy to be with him. But God, no, I'm not going to make a move. I'm not going to accept the first 4 proposals. I'm going to wait until we've been together 2 years. Oh, that's what we doing? We putting blessings on hold now? We putting blessings on hold now. You spent 10 years with the wrong Negro. A better one comes along. You decide you're going to put the blessing on hold. You chased the one for 10 years, but you're going to put the blessing on hold. No. Okay. Go ahead with your reasonable dating. I focus on real. Real can happen in 2 minutes. Real can happen in 22 years. There's no limit. There's no minimum. So make sure your friends are not giving you reasonable, normal, ordinary advice. Because if they are, ignore it. My opinion. Okay, let's go on to number 5. Number 5, how do you feel? Now, I don't mean in the sense of I feel good when I'm with her. And no, I mean, how do you feel? Like when she leaves, do you feel an adrenaline rush? Even though you may miss her, do you feel like she sapped you of any energy? You know, except sexually, of course, you know, that's our job. We're supposed to put y'all to sleep. But beyond that, does your spirit still feel okay? Does your intuition still is it still at peace? The way that I think about it is I had to get in tune with my intuition to know what it felt like when things were okay, and to know what my intuition felt like when I needed to pay more attention. And the way that it works for me, when my intuition is telling me I'm in a good place, it's like my intuition is falling asleep. It's gone to sleep. It's curled up. It's got a blanket. It's good. Now, if it starts getting up, rustling, if I start feeling stuff saying, oh, hold up, I don't like this. Where the hell she got us? This environment ain't feeling good. That's when I pay attention. But if every time I'm around somebody, my intuition says, oh, she with him? Okay, well, I'm going to go to sleep. She good. That is how I know I'm in a good spot. It took years for me to accept that, because a lot of times what I wanted is what I wanted. And it didn't matter how many times my intuition was jumping up and down. I decided that's what I wanted. And so that's where the hell I stayed. Now, it cost me, which is why I don't do that no more. But now, when I'm around a brother, I don't care how tall he is. I don't care how fine he is. I don't care how funny he is. I'm always checking my intuition. If my intuition is like, oh, she's good, I'm going to catch some Z's, then I know I'm in the right spot. How do you feel? Does your intuition go to sleep when she comes around, or does it wake up and never go to sleep again? Do you feel like you have an actual exchange of positive energy between you? Are you smiling without making yourself smile? Is something about her just a place of peace? Do you just feel good? You don't know how to explain it. It just feels good. It feels like, okay, I could deal with this all day. I could have this all day. I could come home to this. I could talk to this woman. I could do this. I could do that. How do you feel? Not infatuation, not lust. If you pulled away sex, if you pulled away how pretty you think she is, how do you feel? If you pull away the sex and the prettiness and you can't really figure out how you feel, wait. But if you can pull that away and you saw this question and before I even finished explaining it, you were like, oh man, she could put on 20 pounds, Allison. I'm still going to want to be with her. I just like her. I just like her. I just like her personality. I just like the way she does, blah, blah, blah. Then keep going. Okay? Do you feel drained? Yes. That is a key thing. That's a key thing. And that was something that I had to start paying attention to a few years back in my own dating game. Do I feel drained or do I feel energetic? A couple of the brothers, it was a cool connection. But when I would leave them, whether there was sex involved or not, all I wanted to do was sleep. That was a sign. That was a sign that this was an energy vampire. My energy was being zapped, but I wasn't getting any from him. So that's something that you have to pay attention to. Miss Honey says, I've actually told someone I needed to go through all 4 seasons before engaging. It had only been a month at the time. I should not have said the 4 seasons part. Agreed. And a lot of people think that. A lot of people say, hey, look at someone all year. Look at someone all year because then you'll see if they have this and you'll see. But the thing is, how can I put it? I think a lot of us know when a connection is right. I think that we get in our own way. We're not doing it on purpose because a lot of us have been through some hurt. A lot of us have been through some pain. And I've even done it. I've done it. But what I found is at the moment that you know it's right and you decide not to move forward or whatever, you're self-sabotaging, overthinking, self-sabotage. Deciding that you want to date other people when you're still thinking about the other one. Self-sabotage. Because now, at this point, you're not looking for signs that it's right. Now you're scared. So now you're waiting for signs that it's wrong. So the minute he or she has an attitude, the minute he or she gets mad at you, oh, I knew it. I knew that's what I was waiting for. You weren't waiting for shit. You looking for a reason to end this connection because your ass is scared and you won't say it. That's why I had to stop taking I had to stop taking all that. Well, it ain't right unless it's in 2 years. My mama said this. My mama this is how she raised me and my sister. If he hasn't proposed to you in 2 years, then cut him loose. I mean, it made sense in theory. You don't want a brother wasting your time. But she was also of the mindset that if it was before 2 years, it was too soon. So when it's right on day one. When it's wrong, that shit is wrong on day one. So that's just my opinion. Miss Honey says, if you feel an unexplainable great emotion about them, figure out what that is. Yes, figure out what that is. Most of us who have dated have been hurt. Most of us who are still out here in the dating world have gone through something very traumatic that really made us question us, our worth, our value, our faith, our belief in humanity. Some of us have gone through something that traumatic. Some of us have gone through it more than once. So I don't want anyone thinking that I'm beating up on you because I get it and I've lived through it. And I understand not wanting to get it wrong. I get it. I completely get it. I just want us to do what we can to be more focused on, I want it to be right, than I want to look for reasons why it's wrong. Because we'll always find what we're looking for. Okay? I said this is a friend about them dating. I said this to a friend about them dating. Right. I was wrong. It's okay. Jason says, I literally thought you were the bride. I don't even know how to handle that. Thank you. So that's the next thing. How do you feel? I told somebody not too long ago, when you have a good heart, and you've been hurt as badly as people with good hearts have been hurt, it's my opinion. Now, that doesn't mean it always happens this way, but it's my opinion that a lot of times we won't have to wait as long when it's right, because God's already, but no, they don't went through 5 years of nonsense with that person. They've already been hurt multiple times. No, when it's right, I want them to know immediately that it's right, because they that's what I want them to feel, that more than I want them to feel what they felt. It's almost like a reward. It's almost like God saying, you could have turned bitter, but you didn't. You could have developed a cold heart like a lot of other people did, and you didn't. You could have decided to change your whole personality, and you didn't. You could have decided to be a gold digger, and you didn't. You could have decided to be a womanizing asshole, but you didn't. So I want the two of y'all, I want you to meet, and I want you to know quickly that this is okay, because I don't want y'all to let the past get in the middle of this. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I just don't think time is a factor. I think it's about commitment, the people. That's what I think. BD says, you resemble Tisha. Oh my God. Are y'all listening to me at all? Jason says, I'm at work. I'm not even supposed to be watching you. Man, I don't even know what to say. Miss Honey says, right. So the next question is, how do you feel? If it just feels right and the only thing that comes up is the calendar, brother, it's right. If the only question you have is, yeah, but it's only been 3 months. It's only been 2 months. It's only, brother, it's right. Lean into it. Do it scared. Do it scared, because it's right. Oh my God, I just want to take these off. Okay. Okay, number 6. Is the feeling mutual in word, action, and deed? This is very important. I'm not asking if the person is afraid and you're picking up that they might be moving a little slow because they're afraid. That's not what I'm asking. What I'm asking is, do you instinctively feel that they feel the same way about you? I'll go a step further. Have they told you they feel the same way about you? And have they done more than tell you? Have they shown you? Are you finding that the two of you blend? Are you finding that you're not always the one reaching for a hug? Sometimes they do too. Do you notice when you go to grab them or cuddle with them, do you feel their body relax, or do you feel it tense up? When she reaches for your hand, are you excited that she's holding your hand, or are you feeling nervous? How balanced is the connection? How balanced is the connection? And this is where you have to sit back and be honest with yourself too. Are you just in love and you haven't really sat down to figure out if she's in love with you? Because if you haven't, stop here. Stop here. You need to make sure she feels what you're feeling. But my opinion, if it's right, she's already told you. And your intuition is still asleep. And sometimes she doesn't even have to open her mouth to tell you. You feel it. You see it. How does she look at you when you look at her? How does she smile when you smile at her? When you try to kiss her, is she reaching towards you too? Or are you always having to go down to kiss her? Is she grabbing you sometimes? Is she holding you sometimes? Like, if this is right, you're already feeling all this. But if you can't say for sure, oh, you know what? I mean, yeah, there's times that we laying in bed together and I reach for her, but she kind of tenses up. But abort mission and wait. But if every time you reach for that woman and you put your arm around her, you can feel her body relax, brother, it's mutual. It's mutual. Number 7. Do you two fit? Now, here's what I mean by fit. I don't mean on paper. I'm kind of scared of using this actual example now, because now that I see it a different way, I understand it's not the relationship we should want. But I'm going to use the whole Dwayne and Whitley thing and her relationship with Byron. For those who did not watch A Different World, please let me know and I'll give you a very quick update so you'll be able to follow this analogy. I'm loving the stop here. Thank you. What's up, cousin? Balance connection. Yeah, absolutely. So Dwayne and Whitley, y'all know it. If you don't, please tell me. I'll give you a quick update, a quick background. So the thing about Dwayne and Byron, or Whitley and Byron, the thing about Whitley and Byron is that on paper, they fit. This is not the type of fit I'm talking about. She was groomed to be a very influential man's wife. That's what she was groomed to be from the beginning. How to walk, how to talk, how to dress. I think we very rarely ever saw her not in heels. We very, very rarely saw her in pants. She was groomed for that. And so Byron matched what she was groomed for, what she should want on paper. He was educated. He was a pillar of the community. He was an up and coming senator. He had influences. He had connections. His friends were other people who were in high places. And marrying him would have fit everything she was raised to be. She knew how to work a room. She knew how to be the politician's wife. She knew how to do all of that. They were a great fit, but there was no damn passion. None. It was just, oh, this is what people think that I'm supposed to be with, and he is a nice guy. Yeah, I'll marry him. Her and Dwayne, however, and again, I see the I do see some of the negatives in this relationship now. I do. But the thing about Dwayne is that whereas Byron fit who she was groomed to be, Dwayne fit who she actually was. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? Byron fit who she was raised and groomed to be with. Dwayne represented who she was. That's why there was more passion there. That's why there was more ease there. Because yes, he was an up and he didn't have the money, but it was coming. He didn't have the pedigree, but he had a realness about him. He didn't necessarily, he thought she was beautiful, but he didn't let her run him. And this is who Whitley actually was. She didn't want to constantly sit around and be made to feel like she was this pretty little thing that needed to be put off somewhere. She actually wanted to feel what she felt with Dwayne. So when I ask if the two of you fit, I don't mean your resumes. I don't mean, oh, y'all both have good credit and y'all both have this and y'all both. That's not what I'm talking about. The areas that are most important to you. Does she accept me for who I am? Does she accept my good and my bad? Does she appreciate what I do have? Do I see her being able to go with me where I'm going? Do I fit where she's going? Do I fit her path? When she talks about her dreams, do I see me being able to help with that, even if it's just to be support in the background? Do you guys fit? Do you have a weakness that turns out to be her strength? Does she have a weakness that turns out to be your strength? Would the two of you together make your lives a complete mesh because you're getting her strengths and your strengths, which means the weaknesses that have been holding both of you back will no longer be an issue. It's not always about background. It's not always about y'all matching in education. It's not always about that. It's about who you are instinctively, pulling away the resume, pulling away the bank account, pulling away the credit score. Who are you instinctively? One of the things that I look for is, especially since I started doing these lives, I get a lot of attention. A lot of people who want to reach out, and a lot of them haven't done more than look at my lips move because of the damn lipstick. It is what it is. But one of the things that I look for is when I get off this platform, what most people don't know is I don't like makeup. I don't hate it. I just like walking around with my natural looks. When I get off this platform, if I take all of this off and I just have a scarf on my head and some old ass leggings, is this person still going to call me beautiful? Is this person still going to be as into me as these other brothers are when I have my makeup on? Am I going to be able to go and be Allison, not Allison Denise. Can I just be with him and just be Allison, and is that enough? That's what I mean by fitting. Do the two of you fit? Not on paper, not by society standards, not by your mama's standards, not by your friend's standards. Who you are, does it fit with who she is? If it doesn't, stop here, because you may still be bordering on infatuation. Doesn't mean end it, just means pause. But if you can already say, oh man, who I am is who I want to be. Who I am is who I am with her. And who she is who she is with me. And I love it. We don't ever have to dress up. We don't have to do, I just love being around her. Keep going. All right. Yes, different world. Kim was fine on the yeah, Kim was, she was a pretty girl. She was. But Dwayne made them ankles shake. What? He really did though. It's the truth. It's the truth. His lack of pedigree, all that, but he went straight to the heart of who she actually was, and that's what she couldn't get away from. But that's also what he couldn't get away from. Because think about it. His mama didn't like her. She tried. She eventually got there. But his mama wanted him with someone a little more down to earth. Someone who had a little more, of a closer upbringing. She didn't want him with someone that she thought was bougie. But she spoke to who he really was. That's why it worked. And that's probably why you're at 3 months wanting to propose to this woman, because I have a feeling it's already working for you too. Miss Honey says, too funny. I mean, she didn't lie though. Facts. All right. So let's go to number 8. Last question. How are you handling the attention you get from others? I mean, what? You thought just because you found somebody you were going to be in love with, you think this just because you're in love with this woman that other women aren't going to come around? You think other men aren't going to come around her? Like, be honest. We all know the truth. We don't want somebody that nobody else wants, right? So there's got to be other people who are out there hollering at you. And we both know that once you decide that you're in love with a woman, you become a damn magnet. It's like everybody, the ones that you didn't want, the ones that you did want, everybody seems to come around, right? So how are you handling it? Are you still entertaining it? Or do you find that it's a little irritating? Are you finding that people are calling you certain things that maybe she does and you don't like when other people do it? You just want her to do it. Are you finding that compliments don't mean anything coming from other people? They only mean something when she says it. Are you finding that even though, you haven't proposed to this woman or anything like that, and by some people's standards, that means you're still single, are you finding that when people reach out to you, you just don't want to be bothered? Like, you appreciate the attention, but you don't want it. If you're still entertaining it and you still got a few people in your inbox that you still talking to, that's sending you pictures and you sending pictures, if you still doing that, stop here. Don't waste her time. You ain't ready. But if you were like, man, it's only been 3 months, but I really just don't want to be with nobody else. I appreciate all these people in my inbox, but I don't want them. I have who I want. If that is where you are, brother, keep going. Damn your friends. The love meant for you is meant for you. Damn your past. The love meant for you is meant for you. And if you have gone years in hurt, why do you think God automatically wants you to wait years to find peace? That's not how God works. It's not. So I hope these help answer your question. Again, start from number 1. Don't just pick the questions that feel good. Ask all of them, because it doesn't necessarily mean if you're not ready now that she's not the one. It just means you're not ready now, and you made that decision before you proposed, got her looking at dresses and venues just to say, I'm sorry, I think I'm moving too quick. At least you're doing it now. So answer the questions thoughtfully, but I promise you, if you get yeses to everything going down, man, find that girl's ring size, and congratulations. All right. Felton, thank you so much for tuning in. Hey, Amber. It's crazy how that happens. It really is. Love this. Keep going. Yeah, just keep going. Keep going. Y'all, you know I am all about love. Not love for the sake of being in love. Not love in terms of being a love addict. But real love, bring it. Bring it. All right, let me get to the last question. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Where's the last question? There it is. All right, so this one is by a sister of mine who is actually, you know, like a sister of mine, like has my number and everything. So this question came through my text. So here's the question. Men ask me out. I accept. I ask where we're going. They say they don't know. So why did you ask me out? Now, there was a little more to the story than this for the purpose of characters and all that stuff. I just made it short. But the issue was this. This sister will have men, whether it's by text, email, inbox. And I know there's a lot of women and men who have the same situation. But the brothers will reach out. Maybe they'll have a conversation here and there. They'll get to know each other. But it'll get to the point where the brother asks her out. And she'll make a decision whether she'll accept it or not. Some she'll say no, but some she'll say yes. But what she's noticing is the brothers where she says yes. The next question is, where are we going? And he says, I don't know. And they go back and forth. Well, you don't want me to pick. You don't want me to pick. You know, blah, blah, blah. And so her question is, then why the hell did you ask me out? So here's something that I need brothers to understand. How can I put it? The women that you had to put the least amount of effort, and I don't mean in the sense of someone who is down to earth versus someone who's high maintenance. I think that's where y'all miss it. You think anyone asking you to do more than bare minimum is high maintenance, and that's an issue with you. That's not an issue with us. We're not going to be bare minimum because you think that that's the most we should want. You can go somewhere with that. Okay, so I'm not talking about someone who is obviously high maintenance. What I'm talking about is the women who are okay with your bare minimum don't speak for all women. I'm not going to get into the whole, well, she's accepting bare minimum because she doesn't know her worth. That's not true. Sometimes we know it's bare minimum because we've had better. They don't always know it's bare minimum because they haven't. So constantly trying to make it a self-worth issue doesn't help her. You could teach her. You could be willing to show her differently, but to continue, well, she don't know her worth. No, that's classist. I don't do classist. This ain't a competition between sisters, at least not over here. So there's times where she may not know that what she's okay with is bare minimum. But the fact that it's bare minimum, no, nonetheless, I don't care if you run into 20 women okay with that. I'm number 21. My sister is number 22 that asked this question. If you ask us out, we want to know that you've thought it through. And to any sister watching, I strongly suggest that you do the same, because one thing that I have learned that some brothers have even acknowledged, a lot of times brothers will ask us out, but it's because they don't want to say, hey, can I fuck you? So they want to say, can I ask you out? Hoping you'll say yes. And then what they want to do is start redirecting the conversation towards it just being, here's how some of them want it to go. Hey, can I ask you, you mind if I take you out sometime? Sure. What did you have in mind? Oh, I don't know. I hadn't really thought about it. Oh, that's okay. I mean, you want to just do something at the house? I could come over. Maybe you could cook or order some takeout. Yeah, that'd be cool. And then we can get to know each other. That's what they want to happen, because what they wanted to say was, I just want to fuck you. Can you come over so I can fuck you? Because they know that there's a good chance they're not going to get to fuck you if they do that. So when you deal with a brother who is just like, well, I hadn't really thought about it, it's because he hadn't thought beyond having sex with you. Are there some men who hadn't really thought about it? Yes. But here's the deal. There are some people who go through obvious gang territory that don't get shot. Does that mean that you're going to decide to go through it every day just because some people don't get shot? So while there will be some men who ask you out that really hadn't thought it through, it's still not good enough. The minute you say yes, that brother should already have a plan, or at the very least be able to say, tell me what you like to eat. Tell me what your favorite type of movie is. What area of town, something that says, okay, now that she said yes, let me go ahead and get the wheels turning, something. But to say I hadn't thought about it, or to say I don't know, this brother ain't serious. This brother just wants to take you anywhere, give you some coffee, preferably with some whiskey in it, so he can take you home and fuck you. That's it. Leave this dude on red. So to the brothers who don't agree, I understand, but I'm assuming that if you're asking women out, you're straight. And if you're straight, then hear from a straight woman that this is what we prefer. This is what we expect if you are serious. If you're not serious, I don't even know why you're still watching me if you're not serious, because it is what it is. But please understand, you coming and saying that you don't even have a thought. It would be one thing if you said, well, I thought I could take, I was thinking of going to this restaurant and then us doing A, B, C, D. Then give us a chance to tell you, hey, that sounds great, but I'm allergic to seafood or shellfish. Or, hey, that sounds great. Do you mind if we go to this location instead? Because it's in the middle of where me and you live. That's a little too far. Like, at least have a starting point is what I'm saying. And there's too many. The reason I wanted to put this up on the call today, or the show today, is because there's a lot of men who do this. There are a lot of men who do this, and it's kind of like what we talked about on the Bad Squad radio show this past Friday night. Social media has made some brothers lazy. I'm just going to inbox. I'm going to inbox 50 people and I'm going to see what sticks. And I'm going to ask 20 people out and I'm going to see what sticks. And I'm not going to think about where to go. I asked them out. I did enough. Nah, brother, you ain't done enough, because you're not showing that you're serious. You're just showing that you're interested. Let me check these comments. Speak on it. Why ask without a plan? Absolutely. And what's up, sis? All the way through. Amber's clapping. Daphne says, then they want to take you out for drinks. That's what, now see, that's what kills a lot of the brothers in my inbox. Hey, can we go for drinks sometime? I don't drink. What you mean you don't drink? I don't know how much clearer I can be. I don't drink. I mean, I'll get a ginger ale or some cranberry juice. Is that what you want to do? But see, that wasn't the point. The point was to get me a little bit intoxicated, just loose enough that he could fuck me. But when I'm telling you, no, I'm going to drink all the Canada Dry and all the Ocean Spray, and my ass is still going to be sober enough to tell you hell no, all of a sudden I don't hear from him no more. Sisters, just tell them you don't drink. You can drink when you get home. Just tell them you don't drink. I promise you, it will kill a lot of the nonsense in your inbox. Trust me. Miss Honey says, Netflix and chill. I'll cook. Right. See that? Yep. Why you telling me to shut up? I love you too. I passed out, non-gang member. I'm just saying. I'm just catching my breath. I probably shouldn't have used that analogy, but it worked. It worked. John says, God to the gentleman of leisure. Miss Honey said, come on, 20, 30 people. You showing. Oh my God. Funny how they work, man. Miss Honey says, that's not drinking. Hey. Well, any brother who's trying to take me out for drinks is paying for Canada Dry and ginger ale. And if I leave for any reason, you buying my ass another one, because I don't trust y'all. He wanted to cut whatever, BD. Don't come up here with that mess. You know I'm telling the truth. So brothers, I need you to understand. Listen, if you're not serious about a woman, it's cool. I'm not telling you that you got to be serious about every woman that you date, because we both know you don't. It's not a requirement. You don't have to be serious about every woman that you date. But if you are serious, please understand that one of the ways that we know you're serious is when you plan a damn date. When I have a brother who says, hey, I have reservations here. Here's the address. I'm sending you a link for directions. Just put in your address so you know which way to go. The reservations are for this time. I'm going to be here at this time. This is the attire. Whew. I got to change my drawers before I leave the house. I'm just saying. Okay, I might not be able to keep doing these at 2 p.m. I might need to go back tonight. Anyway, but please hear me. Women love effort. We love it. And it doesn't have to be a restaurant. If a brother says, listen, I want to do this for you. Can you meet me here because I want to do this for you and I want to do that. We just want to know that you're serious. Make a damn plan. And if you're really just one of those men who's like, well, I just really want to do something that she really likes to do, research her social media, something more than her face and her profile pictures. Get some context clues through some of her posts, or just come out and tell her, hey, do you want to go out sometime? I'd like to take you out. If she says sure, just say, hey, throw me some ideas, throw me some things that you like, throw me some food that you like so I can start putting a date together and I'll get back with you on this day. Like, y'all don't understand how big that is. I had a brother ask me out and he told me, I'm going to call you in 30 minutes to set the details. And when my clock hit 30 minutes, my phone rang. Had to change my drawers before I answered the phone. I'm just saying, we love effort. We love it. We love it. Make forth an effort. That's not just an effort. Something that says, I am really serious about taking you out. We're not expecting a marriage proposal. We're not expecting you to commit on the first date, but we do want to know that we're not getting our damn time wasted. Like if you just want to screw, say you just want to screw. Because see, here's the benefit. If you just say you want to screw, we're still going to say no, but at least we've said no without you having to pay for a date. It's economical. Honesty is economical. Oh my God, they never seek context. I've had a couple. Shout out to the couple who actually did pay some damn attention. That meant a lot. Miss Honey, my dream date is to go fishing. What? Yeah, they would never guess that. Never. That's pretty cool. All right. So, brothers, plan the damn date or just be honest and say, look, I think you're sexy. I want to smash. You'd be amazed that there will be some women who say, okay. Then be like, I appreciate your honesty. When you want to meet up. That ain't going to be the majority. But you need to stop being out here seeking majority anyway. We too old to still be community dick, bro. Let me stop. Okay, I'm done. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I truly appreciate it. Let me get this off. Thank you guys. This will be live on, you'll be able to catch the replay on all platforms, Twitch, YouTube Live, and Facebook Live again. If for those of you who ask about donations and support, if you are interested in doing so, please head over to Cash App. You can either use I Am Allison Denise or Allison Denise LLC. Either way, the money is going to go into the business one. You can also go to PayPal, allison@allisondenise.com. If you want to use Zelle or Venmo, inbox me for details. And for your own personal coaching session, please feel free to go to allisondenise.com, click on the Book Allison link, and set yourself up to have some one-on-one time with me. And since everything is virtual, it doesn't even matter where you live. We'll work it out. Okay, let me look at these final comments. BD says, we don't talk like that, Allison. Right. Okay, well, y'all need to learn. All right, I'm done. Y'all, I love you. Thank you for sticking with me today. Until next week. Peace.